If you felt stuck trying to lose weight, you're not alone. Enter Weight Loss by Hers. It's designed to support you in reaching your goals. And Hers now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hers, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first GLP-1 available in a pill, so there are no needles needed. Everything is 100% online through Hers. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. And it doesn't stop there. Weight Loss by Hers goes beyond medication by offering access to 24/7 messaging with your care team and tons of in-app lifestyle and nutrition tips like recipes, meal plans, fitness videos, sleep content, and more. Even better, with a range of affordable GLP-1 options, Hers makes it simple to find an approach that fits your needs and your budget if eligible. You'll get a treatment plan personalized to you and unlimited dosage changes as needed. It's weight loss designed to work with your life. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/women to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/women. forhers.com/women. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A.S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
This is episode 459 of Wheel Bearings. I am Sam Abuel-Samad from Telemetry.
And I am Nicole Wakelin.
And I'm Roberto Baldwin from SAE International.
And good to have everybody back again.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start off with Nicole's experience. I think last week we briefly touched upon, or did we talk about it last week?
I don't think we did.
No.
Okay, maybe it was after the show. Maybe it was
after the show.
But yeah, as everyone knows, Nicole is no longer the owner of a Jeep Wagoneer S.
Correct.
And so she's been contemplating what to buy as her next vehicle. Take it away.
So I'm contemplating, and it's actually kind of harder, I think, almost to buy a car when you know about them all because you want different parts of different cars.
So you're saying ignorance is bliss?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, sometimes.
Because you just narrow in on the one or two cars that you like versus because you don't know any better, essentially.
Right. I like this, I like that, but this also, so it's very hard for me to decide. And I don't buy cars very often. So whatever it is I'm going to have it for a while. So I have been looking at BMW, and I was thinking M3 or M340i, I think is what I was looking at. And I said, well, I wasn't sure the M3. I love sporty, don't get me wrong, but if I'm going to go on a long drive, too sporty in New England is harsh. Yeah, Robbie is bouncing around in his seat. It's harsh. And I haven't been in an M3 in a little while, and I thought, okay, I just need 5 minutes of seat time, maybe 10 minutes. Take it on the loop. I always take it on at my house and see real quick, how harsh is this? Do I want that? I kind of want it because I like the idea of the power, but I don't want it because I'm worried it's going to be too harsh. So I thought, well, I'll just go down to the dealership and I'll see what we can do. So I get down to the dealership, walk in. I'm like, hey, tell him the deal. He goes, you can't drive those. And you cannot drive an M3. And I said, I'm sorry? He's like, you can't drive an M3 until you fill out all the paperwork and are approved, and we've decided the price on the M3, then you can drive it. And I literally thought I walked into the Twilight Zone. I was like, wait.
Do you know who I am?
I did not say, do you know who I am? But I did say, why would anybody why would I buy that sight unseen? Are you serious? And he said, it's a dealership policy. I'll call him out. It was Tully BMW in Nashua, New Hampshire. And I said, he's like, well, it's a Tully policy, but a lot of dealers, I'm like, so I could go to another dealer and they might have some option. And I said, why, pray tell, am I not allowed to drive an M3? And he said, well, because people really want, it's a collectible car and people want that car and people don't want to have anybody have driven it. And I said, well, it has some miles on it. You rolled the sucker off of a truck somehow along the way. Mm-hmm. I don't need to put 50 miles on it. I literally just need zip 5 minutes in this is all I need. I just need to feel the harshness. And he knows what I've done. I already told him I'm a journalist. He's like, well, you really can't tell anything about a car. And I'm thinking, I can. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yes, I can. That's all I need. So then he's, well, and you might find that this is a little harsh and this is a little too much and this is a little, I'm like.
That's the whole point of the drive.
The whole point of the drive.
That's what I want to evaluate.
Right? So I'm thinking, okay. And then I said, all right. I said, if it's because somebody buying a new one doesn't want any miles on there. I said, do you have even a CPO that I could do that would still give me enough of a taste of what this feels like to get an idea? It doesn't need to be the exact one I'm going to buy, but it'll refresh my memory. No, you can't drive that either. And I said, if miles are the problem, then why can't I drive a CPO? Because those all have miles. Hence the certified pre-owned part of the discussion. No, because they want exactly the number of miles on it that are on it when they see it online. I'm like, really? Okay.
I will tell you, as someone who's been in the market and has dealt with like performance vehicles, niche vehicles like this, is that they won't let you drive an STI at a lot of dealerships. They won't even let you drive a WRX at a lot of dealerships because and they can tell you all these reasons. The reality is they don't want 20-year-old guys to come in and just do burnouts with their car and then bring it back.
Exactly.
And then so they have to come up with 1,000 reasons. And also the rule can't be we won't let 20-year-old guys. It has to be we won't let anyone.
But I feel like I'm thinking, like, I get it. Like, I get it, guys. It's not a car you want someone putting 1,000 miles on. You don't want people hooning around in it. Come with me and cut me off if I'm like nope, stop, get out, I'm driving. Like, whatever. I literally just, you can drive it. You can drive it. I can still feel the harshness of the suspension and I can feel enough. Just nope. So they wouldn't do it. So I was aggravated. And the husband was furious because he felt a little bit like they're like, well, little lady. And they did have a little lady attitude going on.
Yeah. I'm sure they had that going on, but also literally every time I went to go drive like a car like this.
Oh, yeah.
It's always been like, well, unless you're buying it, you can't drive
it. I totally get it. But it was more the like, well, what are you going to be driving it for? What do you drive? What do you already drive? What's your, like, he was asking me these, and well, are you sure you'd want something? That's a lot of power. And I'm like,
no, that's some BS.
Some BS, yes. And I'm like,
that's
I get
some male BS, girls. We have female drivers, from
I
The
know.
Simpsons.
So I said, you know what? Thanks, appreciate you. Bye. And I walked out and I thought, well, it's not okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can find a dealership who will at least be better. Like maybe they won't let me drive one new. Maybe let's see. So I find one in Peabody, Mass. And I literally say to the guy, dude, I want to compare these two cars. Can I drive them? I just need 5 minutes of seat time in that M3. I write about cars for a living. I'm a journalist. I'm just trying to remember how harsh it is. That's all I'm trying to do. And he said, absolutely. Only problem is I don't have an M3 right now. He's like, however, let me see what I can do. And he's like, okay. Calls me texts me a couple days later. Is it okay if I text you? Yes. Okay. Here's the dealio. I don't have one. I have this. He had M3. So he had one of the M's in the 3 Series, but a straight up M3. And he said, and I have an M2. He's like, the M2 is not the same. But if you want to sort of a vibe on that, how the suspension is, it'll give it to you. And I said, well, but it's like different dimensions. And he answered me like I wasn't an idiot. And it was brilliant. He talked about the length of it and how it'll come out of corners and the chassis and this and that. Yeah. And I thought, he's my guy. He's my guy. Now, and he said, I have you on the wish list for the M3. And if I get one, I will let you drive it. We just don't get a lot of them in our dealership. So, but I can put you in an M2 right now if you want to go for a drive. So I'm going to chat with him later. And we're going to see about going to drive a BMW. But I guess the story is not just that it's hard to drive higher end cars or performance cars, but man, don't go with a dealership that does that. Like search
They're
around.
probably the same type of dealership that'll charge like throw a $15,000 surcharge on that car.
Right.
Like BRZs, when the new BRZ came out, some of the dealerships around here had $15,000. It's a $30,000 car, guys.
Right? I'm not doing that. And that was my thing. It was, okay, get dealership policy. I even get that you don't want 20-year-old kids hooning around in your car. However, come up with a solution that doesn't prohibit someone who actually wants to buy your car and not destroy it from driving it. And also because it's a dealership policy. Because initially he said, that's our policy. And that's when I said, our policy meaning BMW or our policy meaning Tully BMW? He's like, well, it's a Tully policy. I'm like, aha. So he's like, well,
Aha.
you'll find that everywhere. I said, well, let me make a couple phone calls, see what I can find out.
No.
First place I called was said, and then the guy even said to me, he's like, wow, that's surprising. He's like, but did you ask him? Why wouldn't he let you drive it? I told him. And then he said, well, would he let you drive a CPO? They must have one of those on the lot. They do, they will not. He's like, and I can see the guy at Peabody does not want to throw them under the bus, but he's like, I don't even know what to say. Let me see how I can help you.
Trying to be a cool dude, but yeah. So when I bought my WRX, I bought it used, and some places were like, yeah, no one can drive it. And I found one in like Santa Monica. They're like, yeah, sure, go for it, drive it around. Take your friend. My friend Micah, who was an automotive journalist at the time, he came out with me and we drove it around and we brought it back and yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a time after the 4th of July to head down to BMW in Peabody and see about.
Is that PBD or
it's PEABODY. It looks like Peabody. It's pronounced Peabody.
Okay.
Peabody. That's just how you say it. PEA.
It's a Massachusetts thing.
It is a Massachusetts thing. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it is. It looks like Peabody, but it's pronounced Peabody. So I will be going there. JD is the name of the guy that's been helping me out. He's been wonderful. So I'm going to go there and see about driving some cars. And if I decide I want the M, I don't care if I have to wait longer. I am going to buy it from the guys at Peabody BMW instead of the guys at Tully BMW because I just did not like being treated that way. And then I also walked into a Porsche dealership where they made me wait for 40 minutes and never got me a car, and I walked out. I literally sat there. I'm like, hi. And I felt like a little bit in Pretty Woman when she has the whole like handful of cash and she walks back into the fancy hotel and he's like, if you could get something more appropriate. And she's like, I have money and they won't take it. I'm like, I want to buy a car. Somebody. Yeah. So, yeah.
So the lesson here is if you're shopping for a car and a dealer treats you with disrespect like that, just turn around and walk away. There's other dealers.
Walk away.
They're usually like 5-10 miles away too. It's not like dealers are like
walk away. Yeah, just walk away. Yeah, that's what you do. You walk away and you find somebody who will help you out and who will actually treat you like a real person and not talk down to you. And when they hear your question, answers your question and has real answers for you and doesn't make you wait around, which, it doesn't matter whether you're buying a Chevy Trax or a Lamborghini. You should get decent treatment in a dealership no matter what you're buying. You're spending a lot of money. Walk away from a dealer who doesn't treat you well.
Yeah.
There's my rant.
And if you work in automotive retail, treat any potential customer with respect, even if it's a 20-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Explain to him, this is the deal. I'm sorry, but we don't trust 20-year-old guys, but treat them with respect.
Yeah, be respectful.
Because you never know, that 20-year-old guy might actually have enough money to buy that product that you're selling.
Some of the people over the years, I worked retail a lot of years, and the people who often came in who looked the most like they didn't have 2 cents to rub together would be the people who would come in and actually turn out to be regular customers who spent quite a bit and did have a chunk of change. And so you can't judge people by how they look or how their age or whether they're a guy or a woman or what they're wearing, and just treat everybody with respect. And definitely don't make people wait around for you for hours, like for almost an hour, 40 minutes. And I was like, I'm out. Or just sort of talking down to them like, well, you don't really know what you're looking for here. I'm like, I do. I know what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
but you won't help me.
If you see a customer in your showroom like Nicole that's sitting there that clearly is interested, take a moment from whoever it is you're talking to and just go over and say, hey, we're really busy right now.
Yep.
Can I make an appointment with you and have you come in at a time, when it's convenient for you and we can talk about what you need. That's a simple way to do it.
I've been totally cool with that. Like, I get it. Busy people call out. You got 10 people walk in at the wrong moment. I'd be totally cool with that. But it was that sort of like, we see you. We're not going to help you. You're going to sit here for 40 minutes to get the keys to the one car you asked to drive, and you're going to sit here for 40 minutes waiting for a set of keys. I'm not sitting there for 41 minutes. 40 was my max.
No.
And I'm like, dude, I'm out.
It is. I used to work in I was a waiter for a long time and a busser, and then I worked at like Kinko's, and it's very easy to say, hey, hi, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. We'll be with you in a little bit. We're really busy. That's it. That's all you have to say. All you have to do is
Just
if you
acknowledge the presence.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
if you just acknowledge people, that goes a long way.
the Porsche guy acknowledged me, and he was initially nice, but then he said, I just give me 1 second. I have to give these keys to this other customer. 40 minutes later, he's like, just a second. I see him at the service desk. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude,
you're killing me.
you're killing me with this. And I'm like, no, I'm
Yeah,
not.
I would have waited 15 minutes and left.
I know.
have
I
zero
gave it a
patience.
good long try. I'm
I
like,
know
see how long
you're.
it
Yeah,
takes.
I'm like,
It then became like a little thing, like,
There's-
how long will he make me wait? And I'm like,
It's-
no, at 40
there's-
minutes, I'm out and done.
there's one thing you can't get back, and that's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be napping.
I could have been napping. I should have just napped. I do have to say they have really comfy chairs at the Porsche dealership, but yeah, I could not get into the car I wanted. So that was my frustration. So after the 4th, I'm going to make an appointment with one BMW place, and I'm going to see about driving a couple cars, kind of get a feel for what I'm looking for, and I might go that route in my endless quest to decide what the heck car I should be driving.
So since you didn't get to drive a BMW,
Yes.
you didn't get to drive a Porsche, what did you drive this week?
Things that were not nearly quite that exciting.
Oh.
So I realized that I forgot to talk about, I had a bit ago, I had a Subaru Crosstrek hybrid. Whoops, I just lost my screen. Wait, there we are. I'm good. So I had a Subaru Crosstrek hybrid, which isn't a new model. It's like part of the 3rd gen of the vehicle to bring in the hybrid. So that's a big deal to have the hybrid.
Wait, I had this last week, and then you have the week before, Sam.
I don't know.
I haven't had the Crosstrek hybrid. I've had
Okay. What?
I had
Polestar
a
hybrid, I
well,
think.
you know what it was? I had a whole bunch of Subarus, and I'm like, wait, I never talked about this one. It was like on Subaru Fest for me. You guys want to take a guess at destination right off the bat? Since, why not?
1,200.
I'm going to say 1,400.
Oh, you got it, Sam. 1420.
Ooh.
Which is a
Cool.
weird number that I actually
Yeah.
confirmed because it felt weird, but that is in fact what the website says right now. So as of this moment, 1420. So there's only 2 trims of this. So it's either let's say $34,000 or $35,000 for the Sport or for the Limited. You get plenty of cargo room in it. I like the cargo room. Subaru's always so good at making versatile vehicles with like lots of cargo room, and it has that durable Subaru thing where you feel like you could just, throw in wet garbagey junk or whatever, and it's just gonna be like no problem, and it's gonna be totally fine, which is what I love about them. I feel like I should have had a Subaru when the girls were little because kids are so hard on things, and this just stands up to everything. So you get an 11.6-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You get a bunch of charging points. It has 8 charging ports. Let's try that again.
8?
8, a bunch. I don't know how many. A bunch of charging ports.
A plethora.
And the 8 was going to be 8.7 inches of ground clearance. That's where I was going with 8. So yeah, 8.7 inches of ground clearance. So you can handle, like with most Subarus, you can go a little bit of off-road, no matter which one you get. You can handle a little bit of bumpity, more than just a muddy road. You can go up things that have a little bit of terrain to it. You can with this too. 194 horsepower, so it's not especially aggressive. It's fine, but yeah, it goes. You guys said pretty much the same thing, right? Wasn't it like it's fine?
It just goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like, what are you doing? I'm not drag racing. If you're
It's
going
not
to
a-
drag
it's
race
not
a
a
Subaru,
BRZ.
yeah, it's not
Right?
a BRZ, which you really
Right?
shouldn't be drag racing anyway. It's not really that fast.
Ever.
It's like drag racing a Miata. You're like, well, let's come drag racing other Miatas.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So it does the job, and it's a hybrid, like low to mid 30s. That's not a bad price for this. If you're a Subi fan, I like it a lot. I've always liked the Crosstrek, and I just think it looks cool. I don't know. I just like the Crosstrek. I don't know why that styling of that has always been one that I've liked. I think it looks good. I like it. So I had the Subaru Crosstrek, which was fun.
What color?
And, it wasn't a cool color.
Oh.
Shoot, I'm trying to
It
remember because
wasn't
this was a couple
that
weeks
wild
back.
orange or
It wasn't orange. I feel like it was like a meh color. Maybe. Wait a minute. Let me look it up. I'm trying to remember which color I had. I got to go back in time. There've been a few cars in between here and there. Wait a minute. I bet if I see it. It's loading really slow, you guys. Yeah, I think it was this sort of bland color. What is this called? I want to say it was this plain
It
whatever it is.
wasn't very exciting.
It wasn't. I don't think it was an exciting color. It wasn't exciting enough that I have it in my notes. If it was good, it would be in my notes saying super cool, whatever color. It's not
sand dune pearl?
Yes, it could be. Maybe it was a sand dune. That's the kind of like
Basically beige.
beige. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what it was. So yeah, not especially great color. So I liked it. All-wheel drive, which is great. It's going to be 100 degrees here. No one needs all-wheel drive. Our tires are all about to melt. But yeah, when winter gets here again, that all-wheel drive will be great. Right now, you don't need it. So the Subaru Crosstrek Hybrid. It's a Subaru. Feels like a Subaru. Looks like a Subaru. Drives like a Subaru.
Subaru.
It's Subaru-y.
Excellent. Did you know you can support Wheel Bearings directly? Head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia and you can become a patron today. Your contributions will help fund the platforms and tools we use to bring the podcast to you. And exclusives and improvements are already on the way thanks to your generosity. So if you want to be part of an automotive podcast like no other, head to patreon.com/wheelbearingsmedia. We've updated the Wheel Bearings merch store, and now there's a whole bunch of new choices, new colors, new styles, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, travel mugs, stickers, aprons, tote bags, you name it. You can get your Wheel Bearings merch at shop.wheelbearings.media. Go check it out. That's shop.wheelbearings.media.
And
Anything else?
I did have this one is sitting in my driveway this week, and it is actually, I know the color in this because I don't like it. It's marsh gray. Do you know what it is? Well, you can see on the thing. The Ford Maverick, the hybrid. I like the Maverick. This color is just meh. Why am I getting meh color cars? The only real cool color it has, so they have the accent color inside, and it's a really bright blue. So the little removable thing for your phone and like your cup holder and stuff that goes in, it's this really, really bright blue, which is good because otherwise it looks like you're riding around in a Death Star. It's just like gray. It's not super exciting. Do you want to take a guess at destination on this
18.
one? Wow, that was...
I'm not going to say because I know because I also have a Maverick that I'll be
he
talking
also
about.
has a Maverick.
Yeah.
Everyone's got Maverick but me.
Do you have... Oh, you do? Wow. So we get different... Yeah, but you have the Lobo.
All we have are Mavericks and Subarus on this
That's
episode.
apparently it.
Because I have an Outback. That's what I'll be talking about. Well, anyway, so since you both know...
happen to know you were off by $20. It was $18.45. So well done, Robbie. You don't want any way you Sam guessed. You were so close. So you get there's a range of trims on this. They start at about 26.7, so let's call it 27. They top out with the Lobo, according to my notes, at 34. You can tell me if I'm right or not on that, Sam. That's what I have in my list.
Well, the starting price for the Lobo is like 34.
Right. They top out at a starting price.
I'll get to that.
So keep that number in mind before you get to the next one. So the starting price on Lobo is 34. Also, the starting price on this one, the hybrid, is 27. I had the XLT, which starts at about 29. So affordable. Not super cheap, but still really affordable. And oh my God, I parked next to a Chevy Silverado off-road. What's the off-road trim in that? The wheels, I swear to God, were bigger than the
ZR2?
hood. Maybe ZR2. Yeah. Thank you. When I was at the grocery store today, and I'm like, holy heck, it looks so tiny. The Maverick looks so wee tiny sitting next to it. It's like, oh, it's just a baby truck. Like, you don't realize how big trucks are until you park the Maverick next to one. And it looks like it could roll over it and it might not notice. But it's not a knock against that truck. It's just, wow, full-size trucks can get really dang big. And this one still has plenty of room. I think probably the drawback is you have a nice little short bed. It's not a huge bed, but you do have enough for doing mulch, truck stuff, basic truck stuff. The back seat is kind of tight.
Most truck stuff, to be honest.
Most truck stuff.
Most of the stuff that most people are actually going to use a truck for.
Exactly. Most people aren't really truly doing stuff they need a full-size truck for, except for on occasion, and you could just rent one. But this is nice because it gives you the truckiness, that bed, so you can do that kind of stuff. You have a little bit of room for cargo, make a run to the dump or whatever it is you need to do without having to. Yeah, see, there you go. Without having to have a super expensive, outrageous truck to do it. As the hybrid, this has a 2.5 liter EcoBoost. Is it EcoBoost or EcoBoost? I always say EcoBoost.
I think it's EcoBoost.
EcoBoost?
Ooh, look at this video.
Oh,
I did truck stuff.
Look at you. What are you throwing away? You ripped something apart. Old wood?
That's our old deck.
Your old deck. Mine does not have anything in it. Sorry. I didn't make it to the dump. So that's the hybrid. You can get it in front wheel drive or all wheel drive. The EPA says 42 city. Why does it come up that way when I looked at it? 42 city.
Or something.
I'm like, what? I made notes that don't make sense to myself. I looked at it, I'm like, what did I write? 42 city MPG is what I have, and I normally put in combined, so I don't know why I wrote that down. But max payload's 1,500 pounds, 1,400 if you go with the all-wheel drive hybrids. So, and max tow rating is up to 4,000 pounds if you do the tow package. 2,000 if you don't. That's still decent towing. Like, you guys, you don't normally tow that much stuff. Everybody out there saying, well, I could tow a house with my... Okay, fine, but how often do you tow a house? You don't. You only need to tow a little bit of stuff. You have a tiny little boat. You have a tiny little trailer. You've got almost nothing you're towing. So 2,000 standard, 4,000 if you need to put a little tow package on there if you have a lot of stuff that you want to carry around. And it still has the coolest thing where there's like the 3D printed stuff you can do, and you can use like 2x4s and stuff to partition off the bed so you can carry stuff however you want to carry it. Things don't roll around. You can make it a little like Plano box. Do you guys know what Plano boxes are? They are like a tackle box that people use for fishing lines and stuff. They're the best for organizing little things because it's like
we used them for an art school. For all of our pens and erasers and pencils.
You can move it around.
Paint.
You can move the little partition pieces to whatever you have to fit it. So if it's long or short or whatever, I think it's the Plano box of trucks. I've
got one from my Dremel and all the little bits for the Dremel.
It's exactly like that. So I think that's really like one of the really cool features about this, aside from the fact that it gets good fuel economy and that it's not outrageously expensive. So I've been a fan of the Maverick since the first time I drove it, and I'm still a fan of the Maverick. I think it's a solid little truck at a solid price.
My neighbors have had theirs since the beginning of 2022, 4.5 years now. They got when you could still get the XL hybrid for $20,000. That's what they got. Good. Still gets 42 miles per gallon. Yeah, they love that thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, so that's the oldie Maverick. I'm a fan. I've always been a fan. So there we go.
All right. Robbie?
I had the Subaru Outback Limited XT. So a bigger Subaru. It's bigger. It just looks like a raised station wagon. And I actually did off-roady things with it. I had to go somewhere in the Sierra Nevadas. I won't say where because I'm pretty sure the locals would kill me if I told everyone where this was. But you have to go. It's 5 hours from my house. So it was a trek. And like the last hour or so is on dirt road or 10% from being dirt road. It's just like you can still see where there's asphalt is, but it's not really.
Oh, it's kind of like the roads in my neighborhood.
Yeah. And so we had to go over rocks. It's a very narrow road in some places where a cliff on one side and a cliff on the other. So you have a wall and then a drop. And it felt zero issues, no problems. We had to go over big, over things. We had giant holes in the road. We had big gouges. We could move around. What's funny is it wasn't until on the way back from the location, from this sort of out in the middle of nowhere place, that I remembered to use the little cameras. I'm like, here's the little cameras. Because there
handy.
was one part where you have to, cause like, oh, I'm gonna go this one little area, and there are rocks on either side, and there was a good like 2 or 3 inches of clearance on either side that I could use this to get through these rocks. So what I really like is that, and I first used on the Outback Wilderness during the drive program, is that you have downhill descent on vehicles that have any sort of off-road anything on them. But typically what you've had to do for years is like you got to stop at the top of the hill, you got to turn it on, you got to set it to whatever speed you're okay, 8 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour, whatever, and then go down the hill. With Subaru, with the Outback, is this, you just start going down the hill and just turns it on automatically. Which I
nice.
find
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, it just turns it on
have like
automatically.
a pitch sensor in there.
Yeah, and so doing about 8 to 11 miles per hour going down a hill, and putting the brakes on when I need to, and it did really well. It was definitely a road you couldn't take a Corolla on because it would have scratched up the bottom. But again, if you had a pretty high little something or other, you probably could have done it. But I had the peace of mind of knowing that this is a Subaru, knowing that that hill descent is going to keep me from having to sort of stand on the brakes sometimes in order to get over things. And that thing where you're going down a hill and there's something and it's off, so it's like one tire is going over it, and so you kind of have to like sort of feather the brakes a little bit so you don't like catch and then slide as the wheel comes back down to the road. You don't have to worry about that, which I found very helpful in my drive. This thing has that 4-liter 2.4 4-cylinder 2.4 liter turbo boxer engine. It has 260 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque. There was a lot of freeway driving with this thing. So it was comfortable on the freeway. It was comfortable on back roads. It's just a really nice, like, hey, you want to go on a long road trip that at the end of it, you're going to have to drive for an hour to go 10 miles? Because that's what it was. That's the last 10 miles or that extra hour. Then yeah, you could do it. And there's tons of space in the back. Now, originally I was supposed to get the Trail Seeker. So I was very excited about taking the essentially EV Outback up to this place. But I don't know, I had to go to the shop or something. So they're like, hey, we'll get you an Outback. And I was like, all right, fine. And also originally we were going to car camp. Because I just have I was going with my brother, and I just have a small little one human tent for like people who backpack and stuff. And so I was like, well, we can just sleep in our cars. And I was really excited about like showing out the fact that Trail Seeker is an EV, and I just leave the EV on, the air conditioning all night without the car idling. Anyway, but we ended up with the Outback. But it was plenty of room in the front, plenty of room in the back, very comfortable on a very long. It was 10 hours. We ended up doing it all one day. Wow. I will say, so driving on the way there and most of the way back, we were getting a little over 29.7, I think, was the MPG. The combined for this vehicle is 24, highway's 29. That makes sense. Then, of course, on the way back, we're driving up Northern California, which means we're hitting a headwind all the way until you hit to about 45 minutes outside of Oakland. So by the end of all it, we're doing like 26.7, which is still, it's better than combined. But, 29, it's fine. It's a 4-liter. Again, damn it, 4-cylinder. 2.4 liter. It has 8.7 inches of ground clearance. So that gives you, tons of space to get over things. There was one spot where I was just like, I could drive there, but I always just think about de-beading out in the middle of nowhere. That's my biggest concern. Less scratching the bottom of the car or scraping. It's just like, psh. And now I'm having to like maybe put something on the thing to.
Yeah, just cutting your tire on one of those rocks as you're maneuvering through them.
Yeah, and they're really sharp. Some of those tires. It has a 12.1 inch multimedia system. It has that Subaru infotainment system, which is great for turning on CarPlay. Pop it on, or Android Auto. It was wireless. It had like the what I have the Crosstrek. It has that flat spot for the wireless charging, which means your phone's just sliding all over the place, especially when you're off-roading. So you're making an off-road car, but you're not making an off-road charging. So I ended up bringing a cable because I knew what was going to happen.
So at least it's connected to something. You're not fishing it
Yeah,
out.
I'm just like, you know what? It's just gonna slide all over the place. Not gonna get
Subaru
anything.
should have been one of the first automakers to put the Qi 2 or MagSafe wireless
hold it in
adapters
place.
in there.
Yeah,
Nissan's got them, and
they might. I don't have the magnet case because my wife bought me a nice case. So I have a magnet case somewhere on my desk. I think that this one's cracked, so I have to change it pretty soon. So it might have had the magnet. It just says wireless smartphone charger. It doesn't say anything about Qi 2. It doesn't say anything about magnets. So maybe it has a magnet. I don't know. Subaru owners, if you have one, yell at me on the internet about it. Yeah, Subaru owners are Subaru people. I mean, that's the whole thing. At the end of the day, how's it look? It's fine. But does it do the thing you want? Yeah. Does it have buttons? Uh-huh. All right, cool. That's it. That's it. Can you drive over things that other people buy a Jeep Wrangler for? Yep. No problem. I could, we got there. There was a couple of people there who were fishing, and one of them, they were leaving as we were showing up, and so we passed them. And then one of them came back and they were looking for a hook. And I was kind of like wondering if they were coming back to make sure that we weren't going to go there and like Instagram the hell out of it and make it like, hey, everybody, this is a cool place. Because it feels very much like a locals only type situation. And we used to camp there like 40 something years ago.
Wow.
So I haven't been there in 43 years. That's what my brother and I figured out. And it looks the same because, mountains. Trees. There was like an extra tree that I'm like, whoa, that tree wasn't there before. But it's so out in the middle of nowhere that normal people wouldn't go there. So I was thinking they were like kind of like, so where are you from? So why are you here? So in a very nice way, in a very sweet, nice way. But I am not going to give up this location. There are more than plenty of locations in California that look like this and are beautiful. That you can go to. You won't have issues because you decided to take your SUV that only has 2-wheel drive and it doesn't have, and it's got summer tires on it, and you're just like, I got my Infinity, and so so I did Subaru things with the Subaru. Is the only way it could have been more Subaru is if I'd like shoved a bike on it and I had taken my dog. That's it. That's the only way.
Or
like a canoe. I could have put a canoe because it was at a river. Or a kayak or something like that. Yeah, I didn't do those things, but all the other Subaru bits I did. And the Subaru Outback, I like the wilderness. I like this vehicle. I know they're just big. They're SUVs now. They used to be wagons, but they're really just raised SUVs. It's really big. It just feels like so big compared to the old Outbacks.
Yeah.
There's so much space in it though. So if you want a wagon for the family, that's higher off the ground, Outback.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a couple of them in my neighborhood now, and I've been seeing them pretty regularly when I'm out walking the dogs. And I'm still not crazy about the new design. I still like the look of
the old design's cool.
The old design better, but whatever.
Again, at the end of the day, it's a
Subaru.
Yeah, it's a Subaru. When you're like, what's it look like? It looks like a Subaru. Or not. Whatever. I'm gonna buy it.
Design has never been one of Subaru's strong points, anyway.
Yeah.
It's more about how it works, and they get that covered. So, did you say what the price was? The total price?
The total price was This was for the what do you call it? The Outback Limited XT, manufactured with destination. Come on, scroll down. It won't scroll down. There we go. $45,815. What do you destination guess?
I'm gonna guess $1,420.
I'm also gonna guess $1,420.
Wrong. It's $1,450. It's $30 more.
Oh, dang it! I almost did $1,421 just to be different. I would have won.
Oh, you could have won. Yeah. Sorry.
Well.
Anyway, this car starts at less money than that. Hold on. Let me scroll up real quick. So it starts at $34,000. It starts at $34,995 for just the regular Outback, which they call the base level, which is called the premium. It has a smaller engine.
There's
so,
no just boring level. Everything is premium. It's
yeah,
amazing.
as less power than this one. This one, getting on the freeway, I could slam on the gas and it would take off. So, yeah, it's fine, to be honest. Subaru
All right.
Outback Limited XT.
Well, I also had a Maverick, but I had the Maverick Lobo, which is new for model year 26.
Mhm.
It's the Lobo, is it's supposed to be like a street truck version of the Maverick.
Yeah, it's
So, it's the suspension's tuned a little differently. It's not available with the hybrid. It's only available with the 2-liter EcoBoost. So 250 horsepower, which is fine. It's more than adequate. It's not any more power than you get in any other EcoBoost Maverick. Same output. So they haven't done anything to the engine. They did change the transmission. So all the other EcoBoost Mavericks get an 8-speed automatic transmission. The Lobo also still has an 8-speed, but they electronically lock out second gear, which is supposed to keep the engine more in the power band.
what?
I don't know. That didn't really make any sense to me.
I don't know.
So second gear that's the gear that's going to go out on your car. Because
Yeah.
first gear you take off and you slam it in the second. That's the number one shift you're doing in your car is second gear. And so, it's like some cars, like they could have just like say the WRX STI, that second gear, that gearing is really tight. So you're in second gear for like a second.
Yeah.
But instead, so you're just in first gear for a lot longer? And then it goes to third?
And then it drops down to, it goes to third, to what would normally be third gear. So you get more rev drop. I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me. But, the Lobo is, more expensive. As I mentioned, my next door neighbors, they bought an XL hybrid in 2022 when it first came out for $19,995. That one starts now at the EcoBoost starts at $27,145. The hybrid starts at $28,145. The Lobo starts at $35,930. As equipped.
But it's got stitching.
Oh,
It says
God.
Lobo. Well, actually, it's embossed. It's not stitching.
Yeah. It's embossed into the vinyl.
Okay.
So the one that I had has the 702 equipment group, which adds Pro Power on board with full 400 watt output in the bed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acoustic windshield, all weather floor liners, bed tie down locking rails. It's got a spray in bed liner, which is nice. That's always a good thing to have, especially if
Sure.
you're going to use it for truck stuff. If you're actually going to use it as a truck, you want to have a spray and bed liner, because that protects, keeps it from getting scratched up and rusting. It's got the B&O sound system, dual rear USB ports, connectivity package is for 1 year is included. Ford Copilot 360 assist, so lane centering capability, but it's hands-on, so it's not Blue Cruise. Heated seats and steering wheel, power moonroof, and also Pro Trailer backup assist and Pro
There's a
Trailer
lot of
hitch
stuff.
assist. A lot of stuff.
Cities on there.
And if you are going to use this for the 4,000 pounds of towing capability it has, the Pro Trailer backup assist can be handy if you don't do a lot of towing. So if you're not real intimately familiar with the mechanics of how you back up with a trailer, the Pro Trailer backup assist is actually a really nice feature.
I just feel like you should learn.
You probably should.
Wrong way, right way. That's it.
But that's like a $5,000 package.
That's all you needed.
It's wrong way, right way. That's how
Yeah.
you back into something.
Mine did not have the turbofan wheels. It had the 19-inch black painted aluminum
Lame.
wheels.
Oh,
And it also had the trifold hard tonneau cover, which is $1,260. So if you want if you want stuff in the bed to be secured, then you can get that, and it'll keep stuff from hopefully getting stolen out of the bed of your truck. So mine was black, and as I said, I did use it for truck stuff. I used it to haul a bunch of wood from my old deck that I tore apart a few weeks ago, to rebuild. And took me 2 loads to haul it out to the dump. But I filled it up, filled
And
the.
there's your proof.
You
Like,
should have
that's
given
perfect.
that wood to some skaters. They would have made a ramp out of that puppy.
But that picture is perfect because it shows you've got like that's a large amount of stuff in the back of that. It's
Yeah,
large
those
pieces
are
of wood.
8 foot long boards.
Yeah,
There you go.
and you just so you had to make 2 trips. Big deal. Like
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that's
it's
far
only
cheaper
15,
than
20
having to
minutes
buy
to
a
the.
giant truck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 15, 20 minutes to the dump. I used the feature that they have on the Maverick where you can unhook the cables that hold the tailgate and rehook them onto a higher spot,
I saw
so
that.
that the
You see it
tailgate is at a little bit of
angled.
an angle.
Mhm.
And that helps keep things from sliding out. And so put the boards in there, kept everything nice and secure, drove it out to the dump, hauled all the stuff out, threw it in the dumpster, came home, did it again. And it worked great as a little truck. It was great.
Dun, dun,
The,
dun.
my only complaint about this thing is that it cost 40. Oh, where is it here? It cost estimate. Stop scrolling. Okay. Estimated net price if you're buying it came to a grand total of $44,630. That's a little more than the $20,000 my neighbors paid for theirs.
Right?
It's double. You could buy 2.
Yeah.
You could have bought 2 of them, 1 for each foot, and then just rode them like you're headed for Valhalla.
Yeah. And that includes that $1,845 destination charge, which, I think we talked about before, recently went up again because, a few months ago it was $1,695 and now it's $1,845.
Woof.
So, destination charges keep going up and up and up. Fuel economy also not fantastic. Not terrible, but not fantastic. Aside from my trip to the dump, most of the rest of the driving I did was highway driving, and the Maverick Lobo is rated at 21 city, 30 highway, 24 combined. I got about 24 and a half. And like I said, that's with mostly highway driving. So not outstanding fuel economy.
So
in a
worse
small
than the
truck.
Outback.
Yeah.
Substantially worse than the Outback.
And I didn't have any serious headwinds.
Yeah, those headwinds, man. They are not.
No headwinds.
If you ever drive to northern, especially in the summer, because it's hot and then it gets cool and then the air, the ocean and the bay are cold. So that wind just flies in the afternoon. It's crazy. I wonder what the Maverick Lobo would do.
Probably wouldn't be thrilled about it.
Yeah.
No, would not be.
I'm also very curious about this vehicle. Where would you are the the idea is it's a mini truck. Bring it back, Mini Trucking Magazine. Do you buy this or do you buy just the regular Maverick and then do your own thing to it?
I would say the latter. You buy it and do your own thing to it.
Yeah, buy it and
Yeah.
do your own thing.
Find
I
some
would-
wheels that you like. Do the suspension mods that you want to do.
Because you'll probably get a better deal at the end of the day. You won't get the
Probably.
you won't get that missing second gear though. I'm sure someone at Ford is gonna yell at us because they'll tell us why the missing second gear is good.
Yeah. Well, let's stick with small trucks. Because Robbie, you went to L.A. a few days ago.
I did.
to see the Slate. And Nicole, I don't think you were there, but you wrote about it too.
I did write about it, but I did not go to the review. I was not invited to the little reveal there, so I
Oh.
didn't see it. I know, no love.
Well, I was
but-
there, and you weren't there, and then I cried a little.
Aw.
Oh, Nicole. But then I saw other people, and I'm like, and I forgot all about you.
Okay. Who cares?
So yes, so I went to the Slate event last Wednesday, which was a very odd event because it turns out there was also an event on Tuesday where some people got to drive the car. I was not one of those people. Like The Verge, I think Car and Driver, and the Autopian got to drive the car. 3 completely different places, if you to be honest. That said, $25,000 for this vehicle, 205 miles of range. It is the modular pickup. You have to roll up the windows with your arm. You have to use the crank windows. There's no stereo in it. All the things that people apparently love and hate about this truck. This truck is very fun on the internet because people will get very angry because, well, it has, it would only have cost this much to put the window, the automatic windows. The reality is it would have cost more than that because of the engineering. So I talked to them because there used to be an option to put power windows in the truck. And I'm like, hey, it's not there anymore. What's going on? They're like, well, first they were like, hey, it's they made a big marketing push about it having a crank. You could get little pins about having hand crank. And they're like, huh? People love that. And then and they're like, well, we'll see. And I think what really happened was when it came down to engineering, the amount of work they had to do inside the window, inside the door in order to have the window roll up and then running another, they're like, you know what? Forget it. Just forget it. Instead, you get like a gigantic frunk, 7 cubic feet of frunk.
That is a lot of frunk for a small truck like this.
We'd already seen it with the hood down. We hadn't. I'm sure they had videos of it, but it wasn't until I showed up there like, oh my gosh, it is so big. You could throw they showed 2 carry-ons in there and like a backpack. They showed like coolers in there. There's so much fun. And that's sort of, as a person who's very interested in that vehicle, one of the things I was thinking about was like, look, where do I put things that I want to lock up? Turns out I can shove it all in the front. They did go from 2 batteries. One was 150, the other one was 220 something. I forget the second battery. So what happened was 80% of people online who were using the Maker, this little configurator, they were building it with the larger battery. So they're like, well, why don't we just do the same price that we're going to do, and then you just have one battery that's sign up like a Goldilocks in the middle. So that's where you end up with one battery, 205 miles of range. There is not an extended range battery. Maybe there's one in the future. Who knows? They were sort of mum on that. It has 181 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. It'll go up to 60 miles an hour in a blazing 8 seconds. Which, to be honest,
that's more than enough.
That's more. I think my Honda Civic would do that in 9. In the 90s. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is fine. And when you and it's funny because during the drive, the ride along, not the drive, I just sat there while someone else drove. The gentleman who was driving me, Matt, I believe Matt is his name.
I think it was Matt. Yeah. I watched your video earlier.
He went around the corner really quick, and like you could tell the tires were trying to like break loose. And from 0 to 30, which is what everyone cares about really in the city, totally quick, and it got to 60 in, I guess, the 8 seconds. I don't know. I didn't have a timer.
You didn't verify it? How do we know?
Yeah, I didn't verify it. I didn't have my GPS timer.
Didn't bring your race box along?
Did not bring my race box along, which is, God, I'm so dumb. But you can. Here's the thing I did find out. You can disable traction control. So if you want to drift, go crazy. Knock yourself out. The ride was surprisingly nice for a pre-production vehicle. It did have some wind noise. I was the NVH guy, so I'm like, so pre-production with some wind noise. Like, yeah. And I asked them, like, how do you NVH something that is a transformer? Because you're like, oh, it's a truck. Well, now it's a truck. Now it's an SUV. Now it's this. And so he's like, essentially, his whole thing was, you make the base of it like really good, and then you go from there. So we'll see how the NVH changes from when you have the truck versus the SUV, when you just essentially just throw a cab on the back like it's a 4Runner from the 90s. It's ZC fast charge at 120 kilowatts, so not fast at all.
What they say, 20 to 80% in 28 minutes or something?
20 to 80% in 30 minutes is what they said. Is it 0.5 hours? In 30 minutes. But it has 11 kilowatt AC charging, which before I talked to them and figured out that they were doing a lot of fleet stuff, I was like, I'd already written up that this makes sense for fleets because, they talked to 20 to 100% in 4 hours. So lunch breaks, the car's at a level 2 charger. Between shifts is at a level 2 charger. And then I talked to them more and they're like, yes, we are talking with fleet people. They wouldn't tell Chris Barman, president of Autos. She wouldn't tell us who, but she's like, yes, we are talking to people about this. The telematics system that they have for sale is like $275. It's really for fleet management. So they have a telematics you could add to the truck for fleet management. It'll tow 1,500 pounds instead of 1,400. They originally said the payload is 1,500. Originally it was 1,400. The towing is now 2,000 pounds. It was originally 1,000 pounds. So you're getting more than what they told you. 7.8 inches of ground clearance for a truck, 7.6 for the SUV. Blah blah. All these numbers, all these things. It really comes down to is, does this truck speak to you? And that's really what's weird about this vehicle. Is that for again, I've talked about this before, where I feel like Slate built a truck for Robbie. And I've met a lot of people who are like my age, who are like, I'm so excited about this truck. They're like texting me like regular normies. And then people younger than me who have never like had to roll up a window with their hands are like, what is this madness? And then I think there's going to be people who are below them, like, a truck for their kid, a first time vehicle. Those people will be interested. But I think there's like this gap, like millennials are like, no. Like, why would I ever roll up a window with my arm? And every Gen X person, I'm like, well, they don't have the power window thing anymore. And they're like, whatever. It's like the least, like, okay. I'm like, you have not been on the internet where people are very angry about this roll up window situation. It doesn't have a stereo, so you have to go to stereo. For old school people, Crutchfield. I'm sure Crutchfield's going to have something for this.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
There you go.
Yeah. And then, it's and so it's.
Oh yeah, Crutchfield's still
around. I checked Crutchfield because I was looking. I thought the stereo in my car was broken, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to get a double DIN for my Subaru." But it didn't turn out it was just a bad wire. So now I can still just plug my wire into my.
Founded in 1974.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I had no idea.
If you need to get like bits and like if you're installing a car audio system yourself in one of your cars, and an older car that still allows you to do that sort of thing, or in a brand new Slate.
Oh, it's Crutchfield's the best.
Crutchfield is the place to go. I mean, they have adapters and installation kits for literally every vehicle and every possible combination of audio system.
They have little connectors, like one goes just for your car, one goes just for a stereo, and then you just click the stereo. It's the best. It's always been the best. It'll continue to be the best. I think Slate, if Slate ends up being like a big seller, then I think we're going to see more cars like this, more vehicles like this that are sort of like bare bones that people can just do things with. So we will, Crutchfield's probably like, oh, I hope this works. You can also 3D print like pretty much anything you want for the truck. You know how you're talking about the fishing. The tackle box they have the same thing in the back of the Slate. They all the little slats so you can put wood in. And what I did find out was interesting, in addition to all the accessories Slate will sell you, if you design and manufacture a part for Slate, you can contact Slate and see if they will sell it for you. So your thing will be in the Slate marketplace. So it's like Etsy, but only for Slate. Because I would assume that what's going to happen is this truck will come out, people will build things, and they'll sell it via Etsy or whatever 3D. There's a lot of 3D sites. You could actually go to Slate and do that. So they'll do that for you. Yeah. All that said, if you wanna, it drives nice for what it is. It's a 5-foot bed. We put Jessica from Motor Week in there. She's 5 foot. Closed the gate. She fit perfectly. So if you have any 5-foot friends, they will fit in the bed. I sat in the setup that I want, which is the open air, and I got very excited. It was actually a lot easier to get into the back than I thought it would be because we've been so used to like having 4 doors. I was like, oh, this is gonna suck, especially because the last time I did that, did this at any regularity, I was in maybe my 30s, probably my 20s, and I did it, and I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Sitting behind me would be tough, but there's a lot more legroom than I anticipated. I assumed those rear seats would just be worthless, but they're fine. They are pretty close to the ground, so you will have some bended knee issues. If you have bad knees, I guess, I don't know, sit in the front. Yeah, I think there is a very they said they had sold by like 9 a.m. and they went on sale at 5 a.m. or the pre-orders opened. They had 10,000 pre-orders already, so within 4 hours on the first day. So maybe they only got 11,000 by now. Who knows? We'll have to see how that works. But I think it is a very different vehicle than what a lot of people are used to. And for some people, they're very excited about it. And for others, they're like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to automobiles since the there are some people who are very like, this is dumb. These people shouldn't have to do this. People shouldn't have to like put a stereo in. People, the opposite of that is that people want to do that. People want to tinker around with things in a way that you can't do with a regular new car now. And there's, the Bolt, if you want an EV that's inexpensive and has all the bits and pieces, the Bolt's only a few $1,000s more. They did not share a destination charge for this, but multiple people told me like, well, the destination charge is going to be in the same line with how we do everything else. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be $1,000 versus $1,800, like for a Maverick. I think they're going to try to keep it pretty low. That said, if you don't want a Slate, all right, fine, I don't care. So if you do, you're probably weird like me and very excited.
You're like me.
So the question is, at $25,000 starting price, and the squareback SUV is $30,000, the fastback SUV is $32,000, and like last year when they announced this thing, they said you'll be able to put this stuff on yourself. I guess you can't actually do the SUV conversion yourself, right? You can have it sent to your house and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because what I saw in a lot
so
of
they have
places
beginner,
was they were saying that
moderate,
it has
and
to be
advanced.
done by a shop, by an approved shop to install that stuff.
The only thing they're like, don't do any battery stuff. Don't try to do it. Don't. So there are on the site, on the marketplace, it tells you how difficult. They have 3 levels: beginner, moderate, and advanced. Advanced would be something like this, putting an SUV kit on there, getting your friends over to help you put it on there because it's going to be heavy, and tighten it down with one of 1,000 torque wrenches. So yeah, it's if that's my biggest question is I buy the truck and then I want the SUV kit and it's only, let's say it's $5,000. How much does it cost to ship that?
Yeah.
What is the shipping price for it's about 200 and something pounds. So let's just say 300. Let's just round it up to 300.
That's probably going to be $500 to $700, I'm guessing, at a minimum.
Yeah. And things you buy for the vehicle, if I buy the vehicle from Slate and I want all these extra accessories, they just ship it with the accessories for you to put in yourself. So if I want colorful...
You can't say, I want these things done and it comes to you that way. You have to do it yourself?
You could, I assuming they'll just send it to you or they'll send it to like one of the places to do. It is a very DIY. Yeah. So I asked them like, what if I want these colors? They're like, oh, we'll just ship you all the color bits for you. So you don't lose the gray bits. You're not going to show up and like, oh, I paid extra. You get the gray bits and the colorful bits. So if you scratch the colorful bits all to hell, later on you put the gray bits in, but also you have to put the things in. And that's where I think there's a divide between people who are interested in this vehicle and people who are just like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to get in my car and go somewhere and be able to like do CarPlay and have, bzzz, window up, bzzz, window down. I do think it's a smart play. I think fleet management is a smart play because you could deploy these things like there's no tomorrow because if they're inexpensive. And they said they have some out already, and they're going to send some out to places that are be testing them for fleets. Yeah,
I think that's I mean, there's obviously some people like you. That want to mess with this kind of stuff. But I think the fleet market is where this thing really will play the most. But
I mean, to be honest, all trucks are the fleet market. I
Yeah.
mean, there's the fleet market, and then if you get a big truck that people don't know about, the fun, if you have a business and you want to buy a vehicle for this business, if you buy a really heavy truck, you get an awesome tax break.
yeah,
So if your business is, I'm a hairdresser and this is my business, I will have to buy a F-150 in order to get this tax break for my vehicle.
I need an
vehicle.
F450 dually to carry around a pair of scissors and a comb.
Exactly.
You never know. They might be big scissors.
So, so you could, yeah. So that, which I think is still sort of ridiculous, that you can only get that tax break if you buy a Gigantor truck. But it helps, F-Series sales are, a lot of it is fleet. A lot of it is businesses. This is my business truck. And then there you have people who just want to boom, boom, big
I
truck.
see a lot of small businesses running around, with Mavericks, doing for deliveries.
There's
and stuff
two
like
of
that.
them on my block.
Yeah.
That are Mavericks. I think this is, and I think because and then the price went up 40% on the Maverick, which is like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a roofing company not far from here. They've got like 10 of them in their parking lot.
I know someone online who they bought a couple right when they came out, and they use them for the business. And I think we're going to see a lot of that with this vehicle as well, where people are going to buy them for their business. And again, the excitement for this vehicle is higher than the ID Buzz was. Within normies, within my group of humans, because my group of humans is Gen X. So and a lot of them apparently all work on cars. They all had something. And then there's people who just I just need a car. I don't need all this stuff. So I feel like it's going to be this weird Gen X vehicle because I get a lot of texts, Instagram messages, Facebook messages, just like, oh, tell me all about what I got. I went straight from the event to band practice, and I walked in, and the rule was everyone could ask one question in between each song. And I prefaced everything with, hey, it doesn't have the roll up windows. You have to use the crank. And everyone in the room was like, so? I was like, you guys got to go on the internet because clearly you're in the minority. So maybe it's just me and my friends.
So Nicole.
Yeah.
You're not ready to celebrate yet. Why?
I'm with Robbie on everything that he said in terms of it's for certain people in a specific market and all of this. I am your Gen X, Robbie, and I don't see the appeal in it at all. I don't want a stripped down car. And I feel like it's a lot of money still for a stripped down vehicle because most people are going to want to add something. You're going to want something. I mean, I know the base price, but it's like you're going to want something. You want a speaker.
Well, the trick is that you don't have to buy this thing right away. You can buy it.
You still have to buy the
2
thing.
years from now.
You still have to buy the thing. So you spend 2 years without the thing you want until you decide you have enough money to buy the thing and have them ship you the thing you want for you to rent your own car and put it into your car, which is cool. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm saying I feel like
you want the Bolt. You just want the car.
Well,
I don't want to wait for a stereo.
Well, and I
don't want to figure this out.
But I just don't think it's that big of a. I'm not amazed by it. Like, first of all, they haven't built. No one's driving them yet. It's really hard to build cars. There's a lot of other solid options if you just want a nice, efficient truck like the Maverick. There's other things that you could get that do it without having to strip it down to nothing. Take the risk of whether or not Slate will be there, because I know Jeff.
Well, that's every startup
behind it, right? That's every startup. You don't have to take that risk, and there are plenty of things that do what it does, which is why I'm hoping they succeed. I am wishing them all the best. I want them to succeed. I want you to have your little truck, Robbie. I want you to have your little Slate and pull it apart and put it back together again every Sunday before the show. I want you to do that, but I'm not ready to celebrate because I'm not convinced that this is going to go over as well as they think. There's going to be a certain segment of people who are like, yeah, how big is that?
That's the question. That really is the question. I think the 10,000 sales is that's his first. I'm excited about this. But they need to get at least 80,000.
The question is there another 10,000 after that?
Yeah. Is there another 70,000 after that? That's the real question.
Have they reserved it or have they bought it?
So if there's 180,000 $50 reservations. So 180,000 people said, here's $50. That is refundable $50. $50. it's food, but it's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things of
People
vehicles.
may or may not follow through. That gets you your spot in line. So we'll have to see.
$300 is not. Then so now they've opened up. Okay, if you've already put your $50, $250 more. If you haven't, $300. So $300 is a non-refundable deposit on the vehicle for them to build the vehicle. I talked to them that the factory is about 70-80% done. According to so, and they have videos of the robots and crap. But putting robots in, making one car is impossible. Building one car, impossible. Building thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of cars at scale, all of them work. That's like especially when you don't have the history and the legacy of building cars. You can't, and they can't, we're Ford. And I made this point. I'm like, every automaker right now could build this car. They could build a $25,000 electric truck that just has a stereo and roll up windows that have they could have the thing that people have issues with this car but they won't do it because the profit margins are super slim and they're going to make way more money on those F-Series pickups. Yes. We had a good cheap truck and then the price went up 40% because Ford got greedy.
Exactly.
That's all.
I wonder, what? That's where all of my questions are with this. It's not of like they shouldn't have made it. It's not. Nobody's going to want this. Are enough people going to want this? Are enough people going to want it? And are they actually going to be able to pull it off at scale? At scale. Are they going to be able to do it? And I'm not saying, I want to make it really clear. It's not that I want them to fail. I'm just not convinced they'll
It's really, really, really hard. And hype does not equal sales.
Exactly.
Because if you listen
to
the internet.
Remember when there were 2 million reservations for the Cybertruck?
Yeah. Right? So all the time you see things with the reservations, especially the $50, get it back. $50, okay, I'm in line. I'll see what it is. Do I get my $50 back? Do I wait, hold on that until I see what people think about it? Do I change my mind by the time it becomes available? Do I wait to see what reviews are and then go, no, thank you? That's great. It shows there's interest to a point, but it doesn't mean those people are all going to buy it.
It doesn't convert to sales.
It doesn't, and I am excited about it. But I look at how the nerd car nerd people are talking like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, and I'm like,
it's a split. That's the weird thing. It's oh my god, it's amazing, and then it's like this is the stupidest thing ever.
I don't think it's stupid. I don't think it's the stupidest thing ever. I think it's a neat idea. I'm just not convinced they can pull it off. I don't care how much money's behind them. I'm not convinced. It is super duper duper hard to build a car, people. Super.
I think what hurts them is the idea that they want to make an affordable car. Everyone else that's new, they make an insanely expensive car, which, by the way,
they make a Lucid Air or Gravity.
We don't need any more expensive EVs. And that's the biggest part is that this is an EV, which means they have to pay for that very expensive LFP 65 or whatever.
65 kilowatt hour.
Yeah, kilowatt hour battery pack for that vehicle. That's where all the money's going. If they wanted to make a 4-cylinder whatever, they could sell this thing at $20,000, $15,000. They could sell this for a lot less. The thing is it's an EV, which for me is very important because I'm tired of watching the fires in my area kill people because climate change. And it's just weird in a way that's exciting to me. But again, it's exciting to me. How many Robbies are there in the world? Because I feel like if there's more than 3, that's too many Robbies. So no, I completely understand. Like this has a lot of reasons why this is fail. We have seen automakers come and go. Ones that we thought were going to do well, and just fall apart.
Experience or had money and had backing and all these things, and they're still they've either disappeared poof and seem like they're going to be amazing, or they're struggling. It's just so hard. And I also launching in an EV only company, I know that EVs we will still say is the way of the future, right? But how close is that future? I think we thought it was maybe all EVs was closer than it will actually turn out to be. So launching an all EV company, you only people who want EVs, only people who want a truck, only people who want it says like an increase smaller and smaller.
It gets smaller and smaller. I think I think what happens at the end of the day is that people are I think my thinking is that people are sort of angry at traditional automakers for not offering up something that they want at an affordable price.
I would agree with that 100%. I think
And I
people are
think
really
this
tired.
is like them putting their finger, giving them the middle finger for that, because we had something. We had the Maverick, and we had the Bolt for EVs, and one of them went up too expensive. The other one just got taken away, even though it was the number one selling EV that didn't have the word Tesla emblazed upon it. And you're just like, what? Who can we trust? And now they're trusting. And there's someone from GM is at their electrical something or other just started. So they're getting a lot of smart people to work there. But at the end of the day, a lot of smart people have worked a lot of smart startups. And so my advice always with these like sort of startup things is, do you want to take the chance? Because you might put your $300 down, and at the end of in 8 months, oh yeah, things didn't work out. So you're out $300. It is still always a gamble, more so than it would be with a legacy automaker. I'm very curious at what their sales numbers are now. Again, 10,000 in 4 hours is a pretty good amount for a new car. Which they've done pre-orders for more vehicles than Volkswagen sold Golfs in the United States in 2025. I was like, why are people buying the Golf?
Yeah. It's exciting, and I'm excited for them, and I really do hope it works out, and I hope they're able to pull it off. But I am so skeptical that they're going to do it.
Because we've seen it. We've seen this before.
Because we've seen it over and over. I mean, just because it's failed doesn't mean that it's not destined to succeed this time. But the track record says it's going to look amazing. Everyone's going to be excited. They're going to build some cars, and then things will fall apart, or they won't build cars and things will fall apart, or there's a variety of ways it could fall apart.
What works in their favor is that they've gone from last April to now, and they're like, oh, we have cars that run. Well, they had cars at the event that run, but that doesn't count.
Right.
Unveil events with moving cars
No, that's not the same.
Who knows what those are thing or not. But they have cars that run now. They have the factory. They are moving quickly in a way that an automaker should, versus like some of the other startups that just took, like Rivian. When Rivian first came along, I made someone else at Engadget cover them because I was like, this isn't going to work, because they just took so long.
I know, and you still don't know. And Rivian still, they have amazing
and Rivian still is like.
They're doing okay, but they're not like, oh God, these guys are set.
They're
You're
still not profitable.
Could they?
Yeah, still not profitable.
Are they really going to make it? Look at Lucid. Are they going to be here? I don't really know. Like, you don't.
And
know.
I wonder, like, how much of that is like, is it because Lucid's had software issues? This company. Yeah, it just drives, software issues.
Right, there's no software.
It's mostly the BMS. BMS is your biggest thing, the battery management system. So there are. Yeah. So, I completely understand anytime someone says, I don't know if they're going to make it. That is completely logical assessment based on what we've seen. I think as a startup, I think they've done a lot of smart things and good things, and they seem to be on track. To me, I am leaning more that they are going to make it versus they are not. But that's this week. Next month, I have a month to put my $250 down. I have not put my money down yet.
Wait, you have $50 down right now, and you could.
I have $50. This is the only vehicle I've ever put money down on first.
Really?
Again, because it's such a. It is so coded for Robbie. It is so. It's like it is so coded for me as a vehicle. And like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm currently going to build mounts to put up a shimmer wall on top of a DJ set that I built. That's. So this truck it's really Robbie coded.
In your wheelhouse.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Okay, so the starting price of this thing is $25,000.
Yes.
Given what you're getting, which frankly is not that much, there's manual windows, no infotainment at all, not even cup holders. You got to pay a couple $100 extra for the center console with cup holders.
No, you don't. You just print them. I'm going to pay $5 for cup holders,
okay.
Sam. What are you talking about?
All right. So is $25,000 cheap enough? Because for $25,000, you can go buy a Kia K4 hatchback.
Not an electric car.
You can go buy a Corolla hybrid.
The electric car is very, very important to me at this point.
Okay.
The electric car is important to you, but is the electric car, if you just want a cheap car, Like we're
If you
saying,
just want a cheap car, there are
people are-
dozens of cheap cars that people just don't buy.
Yeah.
Like, why is the Kia Soul gone? That thing was awesome.
Yeah. And the question is, are they going to buy this thing just because it's electric?
That's what Nicole's saying. Is like you take in a market, you're like only EVs, only trucks, only weirdos. So that circle,
and the fact that it's a 2-door, 2-seat
circle
pickup
is
as opposed to a 4-door like a Maverick.
I think at the end of the day, most people don't have friends. I see 4-doors, and a lot of parts.
They may not have friends, but they like to think that they will have friends.
That's the thing. Is like
time.
America, we buy based on what we think we're going to do.
Yes,
that's why we have giant SUVs and giant pickups. There's nothing in these. They're just hauling air.
Right.
They are just hauling air. So you have to. Is there a mindset where people are thinking, you know what? I never drive with anyone.
Most people are not
maybe
dragging
with
their old deck to the dump in a Maverick.
Yeah. Do I need? I have a BRZ. Let me tell you how useful that rear seat is. That is, I have been driving a 2-door, 2-seat car for like 8 years now. And so So for me, it's totally fine. And I can make it. And later on, I can make it in the open air. You can take the rear window out and the rear wall. Just take it out. Woo! Have a party. Everything is a party for me in this vehicle. If you're a big nerd who likes to mess with things and want to take the doors off, go crazy.
So what we're doing here is waiting to hear when it's like the countdown. When will Robbie put down the extra 250?
Yes, we're waiting. When will Robbie put down the extra 250?
It is currently June 29th, 2026.
I have to July 24th.
Okay.
I'm going with July 23rd.
July 23rd?
Or is the last day you can do it the 24th? I'm going with the last day. Whatever the last day.
It says till July 24th. So if I were going to do it, I would do July 23rd.
Okay.
So I'm curious if people are people waiting to hear what the numbers are before they put their deposit in. Because if the numbers are like 60,000, they're like, all right, these people are going to build this. I'm going to put my $300.
Oh, I have no doubt that they're going to build it. I mean, they've got a lot of auto industry pros working there. A lot of people with experience. I think actually getting it built is really the least of my concerns with Slate. My primary concern is just, is there really enough of a demand for this form factor? That's because I love the concept of what they're doing. I just feel like the 2-door pickup / SUV is the wrong form factor to get a significant volume of customers.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
We see.
Yeah.
They're already, we talked to them a little bit about future vehicles. And yes, they're going to have something.
Yeah.
The next vehicle is going to have 4 doors. If they're around.
If they survive that long.
If they're around. Because I think
successful and sell enough to making the next one something
because
afford to do.
Short term, I'm not really that concerned about Slate. Long term is where I worry about, because this vehicle has like you said, a limited, it gets that circle gets smaller and smaller, has a limited appeal for people. And so once you give all those people that car, maybe they can convert a few people in their neighborhood because it's at their house. They're like, oh, hey, look at this. It's electric. I only drive around. I do this. I do that. They're going to ask how many miles it has. And you're going to say 205. And they're going to be like, well, that's not enough. And then you're going to have to say, the average person only drives 36 miles a day, blah, 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 blah. All the annoying things that EV people like myself tell everybody. And so, maybe you'll do a few conquests with that. But the reality is they need something else. What is the long-term version of Slate? Because it cannot just be this vehicle.
It can't. It needs more than this.
All right, let's move on to another truck that was revealed this past week. The 2027 GMC Sierra. And I think for the most part, this is basically the same as the Silverado, the week before, new engines, different, little bit different styling. I think the really big news, though, it has a cookie table.
All right.
Wait, I'm just seeing this.
It's got the little fold table.
Where's the picture? Where's the picture? Where's the picture?
There's a little video. What's this? Oh, there it goes. It opens up and then it flies flat.
Look at that!
There you go.
That's amazing.
It's got a
See?
cookie table.
There you go.
What do they call it? Do they call it a work table? They call it as they should.
Yeah,
a
it's like a
cookie
work
table.
surface or something like that.
You stupid people! It's a cookie table. If you called it that, more people would buy your
You know,
truck.
for
Like,
Well,
$15,
remember,
I could
GMC is the
3D print this for 35 for like
Okay,
$6.
GMC is the professional grade brand.
Professional grade.
Or is it industrial grade? I don't
I think
know.
it's professional grade.
Professional
Industrial
grade.
sounds.
Okay. Industrial sounds like toxic somehow. I don't
Yeah.
know. Professional
But,
grade.
you know,
It's in
because
a, they show the truck off in an airplane hangar, which is just like, hey, you know it's going to be a lot. Not with people working, but like, hey, I'm gonna drive this in, and then
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
take
get in
my
my
airplane after I
my
drive
airplane.
up in the truck. Yeah,
and then
that
I'm gonna
that does
fly to my
kinda,
meeting.
that kind of
And up-
speaks to it, doesn't it? It looks great. It looks fabulous.
Yeah, it's got a little more of the the lighting and everything, a little more of the
Mhm.
design of the EV.
I like how it
Um,
looks. I'm excited about the cookie table. Now I've got to
Yeah.
drive one.
I mean, it's got a column shift, so they don't have to do the weird motorized shift lever that
little-
Ford has.
I was gonna ask you what car you're driving, Nicole. I was gonna 3D print you a cookie table for whatever your car you have, but you don't have anything right now.
I want a cookie table, Robbie. When I pick my car, will you do that?
Yeah, I'll make you a cookie table.
Oh my God, you have to do that. Okay, now I got to pick my car even more quick because now I really want the cookie table to go with it.
I'm just like, doo, doo. See, it's like $6, $10, and but it's like like a couple hours of me
I
designing
will
it. I'm
pay
all,
you whatever it costs
Mhm,
to do the plastic bit.
and then
I will-
hours of sanding to make it nice.
I want a cookie table. I want a cookie
What-
table. Can
What you need
imagine?
to do, Nicole, is you'll need
And
to
if it's a
find
BMW,
somebody.
you could make it say like BMW on the cookie table,
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
right?
You need to find somebody that's got one of those handheld laser scanners, so you can
Yeah.
scan the whole center console area of
I'll
the
do
car,
it.
and
I
then
just
Robbie can
have a
work
little-
from that.
I just have a thing that I. What
I'm
is
gonna I'm gonna do it. Okay, this is gonna happen when the car happens.
a measuring thing that does it in millimeters, but has a little digital display.
I can probably get Russ to measure things that feels outside my. It's
I
already.
got a fancy ruler. I can't think of the name.
Slate. That's already too much.
Yep.
Too
I
much
gotta
to figure out.
I got a fancy ruler that
Okay.
I use for everything.
Okay, carrying on.
Sure.
Hyundai at the Busan Motor Show in South Korea showed off the next generation Elantra, Avante, as they call it in South Korea. What do you think of the design of this thing?
It's a weird front end.
Sorry, it took me a while to find the tab. I mean, it's cool.
Very,
I like.
very wedgy. It's very wedgy.
It's very wedgy. It's like a better version of the Ioniq 6.
Is it better? I guess.
Have you remember
It's
the?
got
Have you
big-
seen the
It's got
Ioniq
very
6?
bold fenders.
Yeah,
The profile
it's
is
gonna
great. I
fender
like it
you
in
the
profile.
face.
It looks cool. The interior looks pretty sexy. Yeah, I'm good. I like it. I'm okay.
It's got their new Plios infotainment system. So you get a tiny little instrument cluster display in front of the driver and then a big center screen.
Yeah. Way up in the front, I see.
But you
Is it
still
gonna
got
be
lots of
blocked by
physical
the wheel?
controls.
Hopefully not.
It's got hardware for your vents.
You can see like little knobs and stuff. It looks like there's little things to move the vents. That's a good sign. What a weird. Okay, look at this center. Look at the center console. There's this. Okay, you know in a bank when you go through the drive-through and you used to put the little thing in the tube and little
Yeah, the
pneumatic,
pneumatic tube.
Oh, the magic. Shoop.
Doesn't that look
That's
like
what
that?
it is kind of what it looks
Doesn't that
like.
look like you put
Exactly.
things in there and it
Like-
shoots it? Thump.
Right? Like, yeah. Is
It
that
show-
like? Is
Yeah.
that? What is that? What does that slide?
So if you,
It shows up in the
if you need
bank
to-
in 1986.
if you need to pass a water bottle to the people in the back seat, it just shoots through the center console
Shoot
to the
it.
back seat.
Thump.
I need to know what that is. I need to know what that is.
I think
can't.
it's just that elbow.
It's an
It's
armrest.
the weirdest
just
shape though. It's like
armrest.
perfectly round. Like it looks like I'm about to like deposit a check at the bank, like it's 1986.
That is
Uh-huh.
kind of weird.
It's kind of funky.
Yeah,
Okay,
for-
that's
Got
standing
a
out.
3D
to
print
me.
one for my Slate. See how it feels.
Your own pneumatic tube water bottle shooter.
Listen, I had to finish fixing my 3D printer because I was printing something in the PLA, the stuff that comes out of it, the filament. Like something happened and went inside the head, and it just broke all these things, or it just got all these things dirty. So I spent like 2 weekends fixing it. So I'm like, I'm gonna 3D print everything in the house.
All right. So I guess since you seem to have largely decided on getting a Slate, I guess that means that an ID Buzz is out of the picture for you, right, Robbie?
And unless they do something next month, like it's just so. Yeah.
Well,
but did you see that? Did you see the Kia? They have sale. They
the
have
PV5.
Yeah, in Canada for like 30 something $1,000 American or something ridiculous. I'm like, what?
They get better stuff than we do now.
It looks really cool.
They could still buy Polestars.
Yeah.
They get cool Kias and Hyundai.
If
EVs.
that Kia wagon or that Kia van was coming to the United States, that would really make it'd be Sophie's choice between that and the Slate. Because the van would be cool because the dog get to run around the van.
Yeah.
I could put the band stuff in the van. I mean, I could do a lot of that in the Slate, but it'd just be funny to have a van.
Well, our buddy Andre from TFL got to drive a different electric bus recently. He tried out a 23-window first-gen microbus that was converted by Kindred Motorworks to make it electric.
They're like 10 miles from my house.
Oh, yeah?
Are they really?
Yeah, they're in the city of Vallejo on Mare Island. I talked to them a lot before, a long time ago. I should probably reach out.
Yeah, you should get a test drive in this thing.
Yeah, I'll get around to it.
I mean, it's basically the same price as the Slate, but with one extra zero.
Yeah, you throw another zero on there, and it's a Slate.
Fun.
I have this is wonderful. There's a place in San Diego that does the same thing with vans. With these vans, Zelectric, and I have a story about how I could have got pretty much this van, but a gas version in the late '90s for $1,500, because the person I worked with thought I was a nice guy. And I couldn't, and I was about to pull the trigger, and then a family member needed $1,200 for something, and that was the end of my VW bus owning lifestyle. So,
well, Kindred does electric resto mods of first-gen Ford Broncos, old 911s, and microbuses now, and the bus. Like you said, it's only $249,000, 200 miles of range, but it looks fantastic, though.
It looks beautiful.
It does look very, very slick.
I wonder if they've changed the crank windows. I just think people
I think they might have put new handles on there, but
oh yeah,
it's still crank windows, so.
Oh. Lame.
Let's see. So the Honda Element apparently might be coming back, according to Automotive News. It should be coming back in 2029. Going to be built in Ohio, like it was before. And apparently, it's being targeted as a competitor to the Ford Bronco Sport.
I loved the Honda Element. I loved it. And I thought they marketed it wrong back in the day because they marketed it as like this adventure vehicle. And as a parent with little kids, it was the most brilliant car with little kids. It was so you could hose it out. The kids could get in and out easily. You could sit on the tailgate, that little clamshell thing, and it would act like a little roof over your head if it was raining and you were sitting there. It was the most brilliant car when our girls were little, and they marketed it as just an adventure vehicle. I'm like, you should have marketed that sucker to parents. I hope they bring it back. I am excited. The only thing that made us get rid of it was that the fuel economy. It was a toaster, and your mileage was garbage, and we couldn't afford it. Like, gas prices went up. We literally could not afford to keep the car, and we ditched it. If it had decent fuel economy, we would have kept it. And they're saying it comes back as a hybrid is the going wisdom. Like, man, I want one of those.
my brother still has his Honda Element. I have right of first refusal when he sells it. And every dog walker in the Bay Area owns a Honda Element. They snatched them up. Because for a little while, you could get a Honda Element for pretty cheap. It was before people realized how cool they were. Like, they came out, the people that bought them, and then they went away, and everyone was just like, boo, Honda Element. And so for a little while, you could get a Honda Element for like $3,500, $4,000. And then everyone realized how cool the Honda Element is, and the prices went right back up. And now everyone's like, oh, the Honda Element. I'm like, where were you people? Where were you? Is the Honda Element the Slate of Honda?
I don't know. Maybe.
Close?
Was it really cheap? It was pretty cheap at the time, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah, it was relatively affordable.
You could hose it out with a hose.
Oh, that was amazing.
Little seats went up.
Got car sick constantly. I was like, no problem. Just stand there, hose her off, hose the car out. We're all good. Just done. We're ready. Let's go.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Nope. Yeah, no. This will. If they do this, if Honda, Honda might cancel it just because people are excited. But if they do it, they're going to make a lot of people happy. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
For them to do it. I don't know if it doesn't make any sense at all for me to buy one.
Yeah, you don't need it now.
BMW going to let me drive
still 3 years away.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
You got time.
I got time.
You get 3 years to enjoy an M3 and then, decide.
Lame.
All right. I'm good. Time to get
go.
an Element.
Time to get an
Element
Element. And I want it to be just as boxy and the panels to it can't look exactly the same because they just don't do that when they bring cars back. Like they change them somehow, The fact that they're saying it's supposed to be, compete with the Sport? Is that what they're saying? The Bronco?
The Bronco Sport.
Bronco Sport? Okay. I'll give it that. Just don't make it try and compete with the Bronco. Don't pretend some off-road
no, it's going to be, it's going to be
track.
smaller. It's going to be, because it's got to be different from the Passport. So it's got to be a little bit smaller.
I want it to look like a little box like this with the suicide doors and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do the doors, but
they probably will do the doors.
The doors were great. That was part of what made it so cool.
I know. They remember you got the circle of people who want it's smaller. People who want suicide doors.
You got your slice of the circle. Where's my slice of the circle?
Where's Nicole's slice of the circle?
My slice of the circle,
Listen,
Honda.
if Slate was just like, you know what, we're just going to make a Honda Element knockoff, I'd be like, here, take your truck back.
I'll take Robbie's reservation.
All right. Polestar. We were talking about startup brands kind of failing, and Polestar, it's relatively new as a standalone brand, but it's been around. And it started in the '90s, first building Volvo race cars, and then doing tuned road Volvos, and then got absorbed into Volvo, and then spun off out of Volvo as an EV brand. And still owned by Geely out of China. Well, they're giving up on the U.S. market.
Well, giving up is
they didn't.
No, they're giving up because. So, a month ago, so in 2024, the Biden administration introduced a new rule called the connected car.
What's going to happen is it's too much work.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
So they introduced the connected vehicle rule in 2024, which said starting from 2027, vehicles sold in the U.S. cannot have any connectivity software or hardware or ADAS hardware or software that originated from China or Russia. And we obviously don't get anything from Russia, but China is obviously the big issue here, making claims about security, and the Chinese spying on America, with the cars they're selling, sending data back from their cars back to the Chinese Communist Party, which is ridiculous because if they actually wanted to spy on us, there's a lot more efficient ways to do it than that.
The fact that we don't have a proper privacy rules in this country means that China can just buy the data from data brokers like everyone else. They don't need Polestar. They don't need Geely. They don't need BYD.
Just like the FBI and
everyone
ICE and everybody else does. Just go to the data brokers and buy the data.
Buy the stuff.
So anyway, a month ago, Volvo got a waiver from the Commerce Department to continue selling their cars here. And Volvo and Polestar, both owned by Geely. Volvo builds the Polestar 3 in Charleston, South Carolina. And Volvo's Volvo is can continue selling vehicles here, but Polestar is pulling out of the U.S. market. And, pretty much everything in the Polestar 3 is the same as what's in the EX90 that's built in the same factory. It's the Polestar 4 that would potentially be problematic. And Polestar is pulling out of the U.S. market. And when I looked at the sales numbers, it's like that's the real reason. They're using the connected vehicle rule as an excuse. They could have very easily made it comply with the rule.
Exactly.
But they also, like, when they launched, that car was supposed to be a lot cheaper, and then a tariff happened right before they launched.
Because of the tariffs and everything.
They just kept hitting headwinds after headwind after headwind, and then you have to deal with the software issues that come from. And so it was just like all these problems, and then you're like, oh, we're going to make it even more complicated. And you know what? F you, we're out. F you. We're not going to play your game anymore. Is essentially what Polestar's doing.
Yeah, Polestar's U.S. sales peaked at about 12,500 in 2023. Last year, it was about 7,200. They sold half that number in Canada last year. They sold 3,600 units in Canada, which is a market 1/10 the size. And I talked to Mike Ofiara the other day. He's the PR guy for Polestar. And he said, yeah, no, we're going to keep selling cars in Canada. It's just the U.S. that's losing Polestar. So, they're going to continue to, they're going to sell down whatever they've got for the remainder of this year. They're going to continue to support them. I think ultimately what will probably end up happening is they will they'll probably close down the Polestar dealers and have Volvo dealers handle service and support going forward. But they're not saying that right now. But yeah, it's too bad, because I think Polestar had a lot of potential. I had some complaints about the Polestar 4 because everything was in the touchscreen, but I still love driving that car.
Yeah.
But
Polestar 2 is a great car.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, it's like everything, every time they felt, I felt like every time they thought they had like a foothold, something weird or stupid would happen. It's like, son of a.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got it.
And then the software issues with things just kept hitting them. And they're like, you know what? The pain that is selling in the United States now, and the fact that the tariffs are like, who knows what's going to be next week? When you're Polestar, you're like, you know what? Forget it. Just forget it. Forget it. We're done.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
All right. So IIHS did another crash test of a new vehicle versus an older equivalent vehicle. This time they took a 2026 Chevy Blazer and a 1996 S10 Blazer, and they ran them into each other in a moderate overlap crash test. So it's about a 40% overlap. And did you guys watch this video?
I'm scrubbing through it right now, and it is terrifying what we drove in the 90s.
And
I know.
It's not like that's a car from like 1945. It's 1996. It's old, but it's not.
It's only 30 years old. It's not as old as my Miata.
Like, a lot of people are driving around in cars from the 90s still, especially the one you handed down. Right. And if they're hand-me-downs, like you give it to your kid, give it to somebody, it's scary. I mean, I guess scary to see what happened to them, but great to know that doesn't happen anymore. Like, we've come a long way.
I mean, it was so bad in the 96 Blazer that the crash test dummy got decapitated. The head came off the crash test dummy.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not the desire.
I don't think you can walk away from a decapitation.
No.
You can't? Are you sure?
I don't think. I mean, maybe like
well,
a step
maybe
or
for a
two.
chicken.
Maybe for a chicken, a step or two. Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary. I mean, it is scary to see that, but truly the good thing to know is that
New cars are safer.
how far we've come in that much time, right? The scary part is you might be driving in cars that still are that old. The positive thing is in that brief amount of time, cars have gotten considerably safer than they were.
Yeah. Well, 30 years. I mean, it's brief for us because we're so old. 40-something years, I had to do the math about that camping spot, and I was just like, oh, no. Oh, no.
All right. In Australia, an executive from Toyota, or an engineer from Toyota, that is responsible for the Rav4, was talking to an Australian journalist and said a Rav4 Ute, which is what Australians call pickup trucks. The Rav4 Ute would be quite appealing, says the top engineer on the Rav4.
I mean, a RAV4 El Camino would be rad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a Santa Cruz, but it's
does not a
RAV4.
product make, however, so I
Yeah. One dude being like, yeah, do you work in Japan?
dude,
No.
that'd be awesome. Let's build that. They're like, dude, you're fired.
And then Jeep has confirmed that the Cherokee Trailhawk, probably one of the worst kept secrets, is actually coming, and they released a teaser image. Yeah, they had a concept at the Easter Jeep Safari, which was basically a Trailhawk.
I don't think anyone's surprised.
Yeah, got red tow hooks. Yeah, gonna have a different front end. Not sure why it's not.
There you go. There you got it.
There. Well, there it is.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah.
That's how you know. Red tow hook. That's the definition of.
It's got to be a Trailhawk.
Red tow hook. Trailhawk.
Yep.
Trailhawk it is.
Rip right off when you use it.
Hopefully not.
So Autopian had an article. They had 4 bad car commercials from the 1980s, 70s and 80s, and the one that really caught my attention. I watched all 4 of these. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch.
I didn't have a chance to watch all of them. Which was the one that you hated the most?
The one for the Mercury Topaz.
Oh, the Mercury Topaz.
Yeah, which was it was something special. And so at the end of the ad, let's see, at the very end of the ad. I mean, it's just a terrible ad to begin with, but it said at the end, the last line in the ad: after 5 years, over $1 billion, and this is in like early 1980s dollars. So that's that's when $1 billion was a lot of money, and 1 million miles of testing. Mercury unveils the Topaz. Man,
it's like spending $7,000 on a Subway sandwich. After 12 years and $10,000, we recreated the Subway sandwich.
Let me see. CPI calculator. What was $1 billion in 1984?
Nope, here we go. Same money. The Mercury Topaz.
See. $1 billion in 1984. Oh, can't even calculate that. Please use values less than 10 million. Please try again. Okay, let's try. So let's see, that would be $1.9 trillion.
Oh my God.
Adjusted for inflation.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a real number that they use. I don't think they spent $1 billion on the Mercury Topaz. I think they just we've driven, since we've been around, we've spent $1 billion. And since we've been around, we've driven 1 million miles. Let's just say that and then say Mercury Topaz.
That we made a Mercury Topaz.
Let's see. And there was one more article here, which Nicole wrote about the Cox mid-year automotive update. Cox Automotive mid-year update. I was at this presentation here in Dearborn.
Oh, there it is.
But
I did not write this.
She didn't write this, unless your name is Tom Murphy.
I didn't write this.
Okay, sorry. When I searched for your name today, this came up. I don't know why.
Maybe it's maybe she has a photo in there.
Pictures in there. I'm looking at the story. I didn't write it though.
Oh, no, you know why? Because there's a related story that's linked in there. It says by Nicole Wakeland at the end. It's Americans are buying more car than they can afford.
There we go. So
okay.
What? Not America? No.
Yeah, apparently we do that sort of thing.
Or not enough car if they're buying.
This is from March of 2025, so never mind.
What happened?
Oh, this is
all right.
Never mind.
Close.
Don't look here. Close that down.
Anyway, one of the key aspects of the presentation they were talking about affordability. So Cox Automotive, if you're not familiar, Cox Enterprises, is into all kinds of stuff. They have a cable company. They own all kinds of media businesses. Cox Automotive owns Mannheim Auctions. They provide all kinds of services for dealers, provide dealer management systems. And so they get access to all kinds of data from the sales side, from the retail side of the auto industry. And they were talking about affordability, and what they showed. They actually showed an inflation curve, and basically, vehicle transaction prices are going up at about the same rate as inflation. So they're not really outpacing inflation, although it is outpacing income growth. But it's not so much the
Which
actual.
means it outpaces. Plus, cars are used as an inflation index, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
but it's not so much the price that's actually the problem. It's all the other stuff, like increases in insurance and repairs and stuff like that. That's where the real affordability problem is coming. And actually, for payments, because interest rates are high, that's really jacked up the monthly payments, which is what most people make their buying decisions on, is based on monthly payments. And because interest rates are high, their monthly payments have gone up a lot, even though they're saying the MSRPs are only going up roughly the rate of inflation. But I don't know. Cars are still too expensive.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they're so expensive, and people are like, "I got $1,000 car payment." I'm like, you make less than I do. How does that work? How can you? Are you not eating? Like, you look slim.
You look slim.
Yeah, I can't fathom the $1,000 car payment. It's just like when we bought. No.
Oh, so there was a comment from the live stream from Paul Kavanaugh. Says he wanted us to comment on the new Elantra, which we talked about a little bit before.
We did.
Said, it looks like the sedan version of a Kia Tasman, and we own a 2018 Elantra and would not consider this next gen Elantra.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions about Slate.
Okay.
In the Discord. One was sport truck accessories like aero bits or performance parts. They don't. I mean, they have some flares for the fenders right now.
There's a lift kit.
There's a lift kit if that's what you want. There's lowering kits. Aero bits and performance parts. There's going to be, again, if this thing sells well, people are going to make, they're going to sell those, or Slate's going to make them and sell them to you. That's sort of the whole thing. All-wheel drive version. They're not going to tell us that, yes, they have an all-wheel drive version, because no automaker is going to say, well, yeah, we're totally making this other thing, so don't even bother buying this.
We don't talk about
version.
future products.
We don't talk about future products. But there is a little like, well, we'll see, kind of, there's a lot of that at Slate, because they're new. They can do whatever they want, to be honest. To be completely honest, they can say, yeah, we'll see, because, again, they're like, well, we'll just see. They also will see how things are going based on, sales. And then there's a question, but wondering how the second row for the SUV add-on is, meaning space for leg room and car seats. Is it a good family vehicle? A reminder that you have to put the seat down, forward and down, just like it's the 80s and the early 90s. There's space for 5 people overall. 3 of them would have to be pretty thin in the back. The rear seats, again, shorter people. If you get the open air kit, though, they can just jump over the side like like they're ready to party, like they're going to the beach. They went with a truck. Is it a good family vehicle? You're going to need to go. They're going to have these pop-up events all over the country where you can go and actually drive the Slate. You can do a test drive, so you're not buying something. You're like, well, I guess it's cool. I don't know. I would go to one of those and check it out, especially if you're thinking about buying something for a family. Yes, I would. If I had a family, I would throw them in there because, YOLO. But you might your mileage may differ on how you want to treat your children. I'm like, you guys are sitting in the back. Sun's going to be up. I don't feel like putting the cop on. Hold on. Well, I guess it doesn't make any noise to be all. So, yeah, I think I answered those. Yeah, I think they'll probably have an all-wheel drive. They'll probably have a 4-door something at some point. But again, short term, all we know is a truck. Long term, we'll see how Slate does with the truck.
Okay. Anything else? Or is that it for today?
No, that's it for me.
All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.